Welcome home to Homespun, a weekly internet gathering of family, friends, and businesses from Platte County. Our purpose is to connect our community and showcase the colorful threads that run through our tapestry. Grab a warm cup of hometown goodness, sit back, put your feet up, and visit with us a while. I'm your host, Mark DeLapp, and I bring to you portions of interviews from some of our own. Welcome home, Platte County, to Homespun.
Picture of him and his cat.
We are here quilting on Homespun. I mean, how good is this? Homespun, a time where we get together and we spin things in the home. Well, this is a homemade quilt that's being made here by LaDonna, and also the rest of the family is all kind of in on this. Lucinda's on this, Nalene's in on this, Dusty's in on this, and this is one of the quilts that they are currently making. How long does it take you to make a quilt, LaDonna?
Between bus routes and a few naps.
Okay.
It takes a while.
Okay, how long?
Oh, it would probably take a month.
A month? Mm-hmm. So what I would like to do is I would like to have some of my running t-shirts from all my races and put it into a quilt. Uh-huh. So I would like to contract you and have you make one of those at some point for me. And no hurry on that, because I'm going to be the oldest man ever to run a 5K, and that'll be 39 years from now. So, so you've got some time.
We have a while.
So how instrumental are all of you in this quilting venture here?
Well, we all helped make 8 quilts in March, and then we quilted them 10 quilts.
You made 8 quilts in 1 month?
Mm-hmm. 8 quilt tops in
Between
a
the
month.
3 of us.
Did you go stir crazy?
Oh,
No, we quilted.
Was it during the COVID?
During COVID.
And LaDonna, you were supposed to come here. You're living actually in Indiana, correct? Or Kansas.
Yeah.
And you came here for a week, and COVID hit, and you ended up staying for 6 weeks. And during the month of March, you guys all decided, well, what are we going to do during COVID? And you decided, we're going to let Dusty play piano, and we're all going to quilt here. And so it worked out pretty good. So how many quilts have you made in your lifetime?
Oh, I don't know. I've given all of them away.
Yeah.
Probably 25 to 30 quilts.
My.
And then I've quilted 18. This is 19, and I've got 4 more here ready to go.
Now, you've got a machine here that you bought in Cheyenne. Mm-hmm. Before you got this machine, everything was by hand, correct?
Well,
sort of.
Or we used to tie them. We grew up, this was our
with the yarn
down here, and tie them with yarn.
Yeah.
Cut every piece out individually instead of with a rotary blade.
Sure.
Like you can do now. And on cold winter days, we'd be down here sewing and making quilts. So actually, we've made a lot more than that.
probably so in our lifetime.
Many
Mom's probably
quilts.
made 100.
Yeah,
Probably.
actually.
So where did you learn how to quilt? From your mom?
Probably.
And Nolene, where did you learn how to quilt?
From my mom.
For your mom. Okay, so this is a long-standing tradition here in Wyoming.
We always quilted by hand.
Yes.
When I was home.
Yeah.
Yes.
We always put up quilting frames and we quilted by hand. But this is, oh my, this is like a Cadillac.
of quilting, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of the
Well,
extensive work out of it, right?
Yes, yeah. Because you can quilt one in a day.
Sure.
Yeah. If you just stay at it, you can get this done today.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can remember my grandmother making the tied quilts with the yarn. And then she also made the afghans. So she used to knit the afghans. In fact, all of us grandkids would have had one afghan, and we had it all in different colors. And then it was she had a little tag she put on there, knit by Grandma DeLapp. So you know, I've still got mine from the '60s,
Right.
and those last pretty well. So tell me a little bit about these quilts. What kind of material? What kind of fill?
I use all cotton quilting material, high quality material. This is actually a reproduction feed sack material. But every quilt that I make is different.
Sure.
I never make the same thing twice.
Right. And what kind of fill do you use?
It's a batting from the Warm Company,
Okay.
cotton batting.
So it is a pretty warm quilt then. Have you guys ever made down quilts?
No.
I've heard that those are extremely hard to clean and hard to maintain.
Yeah.
So these quilts here, when they do get dirty, you know,
You can
and
wash them.
you can wash them in the wash machine, or wow. Well, that's amazing, because some of the old ones you can't be doing that
Right.
with because of the wear and tear from the wash machine.
You can buy cheap fabric, but then if you wash them and use them a few times, they're falling apart.
Okay.
And as much effort as it takes to make a quilt, you might as well buy the good stuff and make it right.
And so you're using good quality,
I use high quality.
high
I only
quality,
use high quality.
and
But on those quilts, those are very special
Polyester.
because they're polyester and
Sure.
they're from probably the
The double knit and the
40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
yeah,
That quilt there
sure.
with all
the memory quilt.
the memory quilt is.
So out of all of you, and of course there's another daughter too, and
Yes,
her name
Lynetta.
is Lynetta. And Lynetta is not with us today, but does she also help on this quilting?
Not much.
No, you guys are the quilt masters here?
Yeah.
And do you actually sell these quilts?
We haven't ever.
But
we are making quilts to sell.
you are making quilts to sell. And how much does it usually cost to purchase a quilt? You guys haven't gotten that far
We
yet.
haven't gotten that far.
Okay.
No, if you sold a quilt and got paid for your time,
Yeah.
we're talking in the thousands because there's
What-
lots of
yeah.
time involved of cutting and
Sure.
piecing, and then this is the finish of it.
Right.
And then you finish the edges. So there's a lot of time involved in making
Sure.
a quilt.
Sure. So if somebody wants a quilt from you guys, how much are they going to expect to pay?
It depends on the size.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you get, let's say, a queen size quilt,
Queen size is,
pretty big.
Really?
yeah,
1500
but a
at
lap
least.
quilts are the most popular.
About
Yeah.
yeah, and those run about 1,000.
No,
No,
no, lap quilts won't.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. And
less than that.
so anybody that's watching and you want a quilt, you can get a high quality quilt right here. And do you have a name for your business, or
Not the quilting yet.
not the quilting yet? It's called Beaver Quilts then for right now.
just named it.
We could call it Beaver Pelts. Since it comes from the beaver family, and so these fine quality beaver pelts can come to you from right here in Wyoming.
Custom made quilt.
Custom made quilts. All right, thank you, ladies. That whole book of patterns right there is in your computer.
So, like, for a baby blanket, to make it personal, I get their name, and then I ask them what their theme is. And this little baby was born July 5th, and they said they would like to have something to do with a firecracker. And so, this is what I was going to do. Now, we also have a couple that got married just the other day here from Chugwater. This is going to be a gift from us to this couple. But also,
So
I
this
like
is
to
this is
sell-
actually some of your embroidery that you're just doing.
yes, I just did this morning.
Wow. So you take care of cows, you quilt, and you embroider.
That's right.
And what is your embroidery called? Country
Girls Embroidery.
Girls Embroidery. And how long have you been embroidering, Nolene?
Well, since 2004.
So you've
Before that,
got quite a
Lucinda did
98.
before that.
okay.
Toby was a baby.
But I just started in 2004 when we were here taking care of Elmer's dad, and I had to be here nearly all the time. So we bought we bought 2 of these machines to start with. Lucinda and I did.
And these are all computerized, correct?
Yes, this is, the computer runs 2. Now, this one is my cap machine, and it is run on floppies.
On floppies?
Floppy disk, yes.
Though they don't even make floppy disks anymore, do
Oh,
they?
yes, they do. You
Do they
can
really?
get 'em.
It is computerized too.
But it's computerized.
So if anybody brings you some artwork or sends it to you through email or things like that, you can pretty much do any
Yes.
pattern that they have, color
Well-
right down to the color, correct?
Uh-huh.
And again, do you have a website for this?
Yes, Country Girl Embroidery.
Country Girl Embroidery.
Uh-huh. Girls, yeah.
And Nolene, I don't want to give your age, but I'll tell you this: we weren't part of the generation that was raised on internets and computers and
we
things
were
like
not.
this.
No.
So you have become pretty tech savvy
Yes,
as
I've had to
you've
be.
grown.
Yeah.
And how hard has that been for you?
Well, it took me way longer to learn all this than it would have Lucinda.
Sure.
Yeah. But I get just about master everything
She
now.
does good.
I still have to get her up here once in a while on something real.
Well, I give you a lot of credit because a lot of retired women are playing canasta down at the Golden Agers Club, and you've got your hands in cows and embroidery
Yeah,
and
yeah.
quilts and raising daughters and granddaughters and
And drive bus.
And-
I have driven. Elmer and I both have driven 37 years. We drive a school bus
for Chugwater.
for Chugwater, a route.
So you're a bus driver here.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got your hands in just about everything here. Well, this
I
is
would like to
this is an
drive
incredible
3 more
thing.
years.
Yes.
To get my 40-year certificate. Yes.
40 years
40
behind
years
the bus.
To drive a bus. Yes.
That's awesome. 40 years to do the bus, and then 16 years now on embroidery.
Uh-huh.
And the embroidery is absolutely beautiful. And again, it's Country Girls Embroidery here on the Beaver Farm. Well, we are sitting here with the Beaver clan. And it's a very special edition of Homespun. You know, Homespun was designed to come into the homes and the shops of the people of Platte County and the areas of Chugwater and Wheatland and Guernsey and Glendo and just to find out a little bit about their history, a little bit about their past. And I guess everything started here about 70 years ago with Elmer's parents who settled on this property. Is that correct, Elmer?
Yeah, I'm 37.
1937. Okay. Now, I don't want you to be real shy, Elmer. I want you to just make sure you speak right up. Elmer's kind of soft-spoken, and Elmer has like every car that he's ever owned. He is a little bit of a gearhead. He can fix anything, and so tell me how it was that your parents got here, Elmer.
How'd they find this place?
Yeah.
Well, my dad was getting ready to marry my mother, and her dad said, well, if you can find a place to take her, you can marry her. So they came up here in a Model 8 pickup, and this is what they found, was this area. That was in 1937.
And how many acres did they buy here, Elmer?
I don't know, they bought several different times, you know,
Sure.
it wasn't all at once.
Right.
They got some land that was, well, they had sheep right at that time, but anyway, he just got different parcels that he went over and paid the taxes on them, and that's the way they got some of their land.
Sure.
You know,
And what did they want to do? Did they want to farm here primarily,
well,
or hay, or what?
he just wanted to do whatever he could, you know, to
Sure.
have some farm land and a lot of pasture, and they had the creek area down there. That was part of what they got. And where he had a band of sheep, why, at that time, why, that's what he wanted a place that he could could take them.
Sure.
And then they started farming. Then after that, you know, a little bit. In fact, he had a team of horses that he had, and that's what he did. Some of it, he built dams down in the low spots and for the.
And his last name was Beaver, right?
Uh-huh.
So he built beaver dams down there.
Yeah, he had a Fresno, two work horses. You know.
Ah.
He did that by hand then.
And so you came here and you kind of grew up on this farm, so you're very, very familiar with this. In fact, you've been here almost all your life, haven't you, Elmer? With the exception of what, a couple weeks or something, or something like that.
Yeah, this is the place that I grew up in, and we moved half mile east, and that's where we built our house down there. But that's where we worked till my dad he was 90 years old when we finally decided we better come up here and take care of him. And so that's where we came, and we took care of him until he was 99. You know.
Must have taken good care of him. He lived 9 more years.
9 more years. Nolene, I want to ask you, and I'm going to get your input on this because guys aren't too good about telling about this, but I want you to tell me the story how you met your husband and you told your mother, that's the man I'm going to marry. Tell me about that.
Well, I had met his brother Ernest about 3 months prior, and I didn't care for him, and so I tried to anyway. I never thought any more about it, and then at Christmas time, his brother asked Elmer to take him to New Mexico to see me. So here they came, and we didn't know anything about them coming, and so they knocked on the front door, and I opened it, and of course I was sitting there stunned. And Mother came and she said, well, you boys just come on in, we'll set 2 more plates. We had a whole crowd of people there. So in about 20 minutes it was time to go get my sister. She worked at the city office, and it was time to go get her, and I just went back to the refrigerator to my mother and I said, well, that's the man I want to marry, right there. And I was 16 years old.
And what'd your mom say?
I don't remember what she said.
Obviously, she gave you her blessing because here you are.
Eventually, yes.
And
sure.
how many years have you been married now?
It will be 57 in September.
57 years. And some of the product of your being together are to your left.
That's right.
Which is Lucinda and LaDonna and granddaughter Dusty.
That's right.
And Dusty's mom is La Netta. I got to figure out. It's La Cinda and La Donna and La Netta and La Dusty. No. So, LaDonna, you're the oldest of the 3 daughters. What can you remember about farm life here in Chugwater?
There was always something to do. We went to school in Chugwater, but came straight home on the bus, and there wasn't any boys to do the job, so us 3 girls got to do it.
So you were raised as farm boys and farm girls.
Yeah.
And so when it did come around to dating boys, what did Mom and Dad have to say about that?
Well, I was pretty picky.
Well, we just didn't date.
We didn't bring many boys home.
Well, you're quite a ways from town. You're 15 miles from town. So that's a little different now. LaDonna, you're the one that you drive bus and you do quilting and things like this. After high school, what did your life consist of?
Well, I went to Eastern Wyoming College, and then I went to the University of Wyoming
And what did you get your degree in?
in teaching high school business.
Okay. And so
I did a lot of substituting, and at one time when Greg and I lived up here, we got W-2s from 6 different school districts.
Wow.
We'd go
Substituting all over.
Whoever called us got us.
Sure.
And we drove and went and did substitute teaching all over.
Right.
And then
Did you have to get special coats for that with targets on your back? Because substitute teachers, I substitute taught for a while, and it wasn't one of my favorite jobs. So
I didn't mind it. I enjoy being with kids, and now I'm around grade school kids and preschool kids all the time. So
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
And Lucinda, you own a hotel that's being turned into an Airbnb here in Chugwater and a bar. And tell me a little bit about that.
It's a lot of work, but this year's been way different.
Because of the COVID.
Oh yeah,
And what's the name of your,
Buffalo Lodge,
the Buffalo Lodge? How many rooms do you have there?
24.
24 rooms.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you keep all that stuff clean? Do you do all the cleaning and everything?
Yeah. My daughters and I, and Annetta comes and helps me, and LaDonna comes and helps me. And I have my faithful best friend Beth. She helps.
And so you run that by yourself pretty much.
Yeah.
And so what are your hours over there?
We are open in the evenings.
Okay. And how has COVID affected you?
It's affected everything.
We
Yeah.
were closed until just 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
Wow.
first part of July.
Closed for 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Plus you had construction going on at the same time, didn't you?
Yep, they had the street blocked off. Nobody could get to it. Nobody was traveling.
So she learned to love it at home.
Yeah. Came home and made quilts.
Yeah. March, eight quilts in March. So one of the things that we want to bring to light here is the fact that this family has created a specialty beef. You mix Angus beef and Wagyu beef, and you've got a 50-50 mix. Whose idea was this?
Well, I think we saw an ad in the paper and we decided to go to Laramie and look at them and really liked what we saw and thought maybe it would help us be able to keep farming and make a little extra money. So because we are retired, we don't farm anymore, but we still have our cattle.
Sure.
And we love our cattle. It's good therapy for them. And he's almost 77, and he works every day fixing something, either with cattle or machinery or old cars,
Which is his passion.
which is his passion. Yes.
Yeah. Well, his dad had a longevity to him, and I kind of have a feeling Elmer's going to outlive his dad. So he'll be around a while. So you got this idea from seeing an ad in the paper. Had you tasted Wagyu beef
No.
at that point?
No, we have not.
And what made you want to enter into this field?
Just researching it and realizing it was a good deal. It's a good way to go.
And Wagyu beef. What I guess the big thing here is Wagyu is a little bit more expensive to take care of and to process and also to sell. So have you had a challenge trying to sell Wagyu beef in Wyoming?
Yeah, we just barely got started when COVID hit, but actually the COVID kind of helped
Because meat supplies went
Yeah,
down in the
because-
store.
because they could order it online and or call us, and there's very few choices in the grocery store, so it actually helped us in that aspect.
So you picked up a little bit more business that way.
Yeah.
How many Wagyu beef do you have?
I think there's all total 16.
Plus the steers,
And
20,
then we have 6 steers coming up.
so about 24.
That'll
24.
be ready probably a year from now, and we have 1 Wagyu that will be ready in January.
Okay, and that's a mixture of Angus Wagyu, right?
Yes.
50-50 mix.
F1 they call them.
F1, and it's delicious. It's absolutely
have
delicious. It's
two.
like eating butter.
We have like a beef and a half in the freezer now we can sell, and it's all marked.
Okay.
Part of it's marked Triple Heartland Farms, and the rest of it will be marked soon. We have the tags for it.
And that's your business name, Triple Heartland Farms,
That's
correct?
Yeah.
And where did you come up with that name?
Well, because we all have a heart brand, and a few years ago we just needed to rename our farm, and we just came up with Triple Heartland. So when we got the beef, then we just added farms to it. Triple
Sure.
Heartland Farms.
And you were selling Angus primarily, right? Until you got this Wagyu
Right.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wagyu, are you ever looking at the possibility of breeding 100% Wagyu?
It's possible in
That'd be
time.
a while.
Yeah.
It might be a
It'll
while.
take a while, yeah.
Okay.
Right now we have about half and half.
The big slam against that, of course, is the people that say that the American palate doesn't adapt to 100% Wagyu. What do you think about that?
100% Wagyu is very, very rich. You can't, I mean, a little 4-ounce steak is too rich to almost eat.
Really?
Yeah.
And when you say that, it's like buttery or
Mhm.
a lot of fat in it, fat content.
It-
Marbled really well.
It's marbled, really deeply marbled.
Okay.
So
And-
that's what come if you mix it, then it's the perfect mixture.
Sure. And what have you ever tried Kobe beef? And what's
Kobe is the,
Pretty much the same.
yeah, that's
Okay.
where Wagyu came from.
sure.
In Japan, they're called Kobe, and that herd, they brought the sires and everything over here and called it Wagyu.
But it's really Kobe beef.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever tasted Kobe beef?
I've never had 100%.
Now, I've tasted that. It is absolutely delicious. I don't understand why people say that the palate won't take that, because it will take that, and it will take that all the time if it can get it.
I'll bet it's delicious.
But they talk about the Kobe beef and how they run the they pamper their cows and they massage give their cows massages and specialty food. What kind of food do you have to feed your Wagyu mix here? Is it same as that you're feeding your Angus?
Pretty much same.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. And one of the things I find out about your cows is that they are like great big puppies that are out in the pasture.
They are.
Your bull, who's 2,000 pounds out there, and his name is Cheyenne, and he's like a big puppy. You throw a ball, you're expecting him to run and get it and bring it back to you. How in the world, and people that have raised Angus and know the orneriness of the breed sometimes, how do you get Angus cows that are that gentle, that you can walk? I call it, there's a movie out called Walk in the Clouds. Well, I walk in the cows. And I can come over here and walk in the cows. And it's, like Nolene said, it's very therapeutic to walk in amongst those girls. Big girls who just love you, and especially if you've got what we call cake. And what does that consist of? It's like a cow feed.
Rolled oats
Mineral
and
and
molasses and
Okay. So they get that sweet molasses taste in their
And then
mouth.
mineral with it.
And they love that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I almost got stampeded out there.
Ate
With-
right out of the hat, didn't they?
Yeah, they ate it right out of the hat. And then the cow, she got a little high on the molasses out there. She had a little bit of a sugar high, and then wore the hat. So it was a crazy thing. But how do you breed that gentleness into the cows?
You don't. It's how you work them. It's how you work with them, and you're calm. Elmer can do that.
Yeah.
But now when they have a brand new baby, they're not real this nice.
Really?
Oh no.
Yeah.
If they have a brand new baby,
Even the gentlest cow out there can get ornery when she first has a baby.
Yeah.
you know,
But
they're
we're
just
with the
protective.
cows every day.
within 2 or 3 weeks they settle down.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
it's
Dad's
just-
out with the cows every day, and when I'm home, I'm down with the cows every day, and somebody's out there with them, checking on them, and that keeps them gentle and calm. And we don't push them or drive them; we call them.
You know,
and
they
they come.
they follow us in.
They follow us.
If
Well, I
we
noticed that when
close
we
in
came out with the
grill,
truck today, that they just see the truck coming and
They
they
come.
just it's like there's mom and dad. Let's go to the truck, and they don't think they're cows. They think they're part of the family.
And there's a lot of them you can reach out and pet and hug and lean
How-
up against. And
How close do you get to these cows? I mean, just absolutely developing a relationship with these cows.
Just like you did today.
So how in the world do you get to the point where you get them ready for market then?
It's pretty tough.
I bet.
cry.
Yeah. My grandfather used to say, "Don't name the animals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't name the animals you're going to eat."
Oh, right. Yeah.
So
Cows we don't eat. We name them.
yeah, you name them.
We've had some of them for a long
Oh
time.
yeah. Yeah. There's some.
And they're named.
And then on the day of production, or they have to be taken away. You guys don't do your own processing here, right?
No, we don't. No.
So a truck comes and takes them and then takes them to the
Yeah, we
processor?
just- That's just the
The
fat.
calves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The calves.
The cows we'll keep our favorite cows until they die.
Yeah, we don't ever sell them.
Yeah.
So little Dusty, piano player, artist, creative writer. You've got the heavy end of a gene pool in you, and very talented young girl. What's the most favorite thing about you with the cows?
Feeding them, going out, being able to see them often, I guess.
I mean, I see this, and it's just like beyond comprehension that you walk out and you're hand feeding your cows. You're used to it probably here, but that's not the way it is on most farms, Dusty. It's, you don't get near some of these cows, especially bulls. You don't want to get near an Angus bull a lot of times. But I look at this whole situation here, this whole farm. You come here and it feels like home. It just, when you guys let me know that I'm coming, and I come here, the table's set, and there's food on the table, and we're eating Sophie or whoever it was from out in the field.
Bill.
Yeah, and it's good eating. And I think to myself, these cows are gentle, and it's gentle eating. I mean, the eating is just absolutely incredible. Do you think that some of the way that you create your cook on this meat, is there some special thing you do?
Not really, no.
Any special seasoning or anything?
Oh, we really like Montreal steak seasoning,
Okay.
but we use less on it with the Wagyu because
It doesn't take
doesn't
much
taste
seasoning.
hardly in. You
Doesn't
don't need
take
very
much,
much
yeah.
seasoning.
Okay.
It's just grill it.
And then a medium well steak just melts in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only steak I know of that you can cut with a plastic knife.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. And so, how long is it going to take before you can breed into 100% Wagyu?
I don't know. We
Like 3 years.
probably.
About 3 years?
Probably won't get quite.
I don't know.
I don't know that we'd ever get 100%.
I don't think we want 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
You want
want
to keep
the Angus mixed in. with
you want to
it.
keep that Angus
Yeah.
taste in there,
Yeah.
which really gives it the good
Yeah.
beef flavor, and the richness of the Wagyu adds to
Yeah.
it. Some people say Wagu, some people say Wagyu.
Yeah.
I
I don't know.
I don't know. I just say Wagyu.
We
So
really like the combination.
yeah, it is a very good combination, and you guys do well with that. Where do you go from here? You guys have formed your own corporation. You've got your own Heartland three Heartland farms, triple Heartland farms,
3 daughters.
3 daughters,
3 daughters.
and so that's why
We're
it's
triple.
triple Heartland farms. Nolene and Elmer, you guys are never going to retire, are you? You're pretty much going to stay active until you're probably 150, something like that.
Oh, at least.
If they stop, we're going to get worried about them.
Okay. How was it growing up with these two? Because they're such hard drivers in their own lives.
Well,
They taught us how to work.
Yeah.
They taught you how to work.
And you know what? We wouldn't trade anything. It was the best way to grow up.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Yeah.
Still do.
It's a little different than some of the entitlement that you see in kids today, isn't it?
My.
Yeah, we didn't know what a video game was. We didn't miss a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. And cell phones, same thing.
Right. No.
It's kind of nice that I get to untether myself from my phone sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, it's absolutely incredible. Nolene, if somebody wants to order Wagyu from you, and of course, we're all about keeping our dollars in Wyoming, making everything local, making sure that we don't have the exorbitant shipping charges, and that we're not buying from somebody we don't know where the processing is done. We don't know how clean their facilities are, things like this. So if people want to order through you, not only in Wyoming, but in the surrounding areas also, where would they go? Would they call you, or?
They can get on the internet and send us an email or
And what is your email address or your internet address?
It's the tripleheartlandfarms.com.
tripleheartlandfarms.com.
And we have sold quite a bit in Colorado. We've met people at the state line
Yeah.
or in Cheyenne. We've sold some in Wheatland, and we just either meet them in Chugwater or we took some to Wheatland.
Sure. I cannot believe that we've got people here in Wyoming able to buy and eat Wagyu beef. If you guys weren't close to a city, let's say Denver,
Oh, yeah.
Los Angeles,
It'd be huge.
you wouldn't have any beef left, would you?
Right.
No.
You would sell out right away because the supply and demand is so crazy there. People that have tasted it,
Right.
they can't
know
do
what it
without
is.
it. They know how good it is.
Yeah.
So the people here in Wyoming, I don't know if they know how lucky they are here,
Yeah.
being able
A
to
lot
buy.
of people don't quite know what it is yet.
Right, right.
That's still pretty new. And I think we really need to run an ad in the paper for a package deal.
Yeah.
And then.
But we're trying we try not to ship it.
Sure.
We try to deliver it
Right.
because UPS will not guarantee shipping
Right.
because of the COVID.
Right. And I don't know if you really want to ship stuff like that. That's
No. We like
it's,
delivering it and it's frozen.
because you get a spoiled group. That's an awful lot of money to waste.
That's,
On an average, Lean, how on a percentage basis, how much more is it to raise Wagyu than just straight Angus?
Not the same.
probably about the same, just to raise it. Yes, it was the initial cost of buying them
Okay.
Yeah.
that maybe cost more than what we could have bought Angus
Sure.
for.
And last time I was here, you said something about purchasing a Wagyu bull.
Well, we are still in the market for one because.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still
Well, there you
looking
get
for one.
your breeding just the way you want it then.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll find one that's very gentle.
Right.
One of the things I find out about the Wagyu beef, that they're kind of stuck up. They think a little more of themselves than the Angus, and you can always tell the Wagyu. How can you tell the Wagyu herd out there?
Because they're off by themselves.
They're off by themselves.
Yeah.
They know they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know their heritage and their upbreeding and things like that. Well, it's amazing what you guys have done on this little farm, and 70 years strong, and at the point where you girls are going to take over, are you going to be ready to do that?
We hope so, yeah.
All right. So they don't have any sons, so they have to have the daughters pick up the slack. And Dusty shaking her
But he
head.
taught us at a very early age how to drive every piece of machinery out here, so.
Right, right.
Good.
And the thing is you better pick men that are going to buy into the vision.
Yep.
That's the key out here.
That is the key.
Well, it has been just a pleasure meeting with you, and the Beaver family out here in Chugwater is just one of the most sincere, genuine families I've ever met. And I thank you guys for coming on Homespun today and inviting me into your home, and it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cake, girls. There's cake.
There you go.
That's dangerous to the wild cows, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Look at that one standing way off by herself out there with her calf.
We laugh together when my heart is glad. We cry together when I'm sad. We share memories of long ago, of good times and bad. I met him on a summer's day. day we'll see each other face to face, my Lord and I. There came a time in this walk of life when I lost my way. I fell so hard I nearly lost my mind. What a price to pay. I thought I'd lost the call to serve my Savior. I felt the two of us were through. But in my darkest hour He stood beside me, faithful and true. My Lord and I, my Lord and I, one day we'll meet each other face to face, my Lord and I. There's one more chapter I can't wait to tell you about my Lord and I. He promised me He's gonna build a mansion way up in the sky. He'll introduce me to His loving Father, the one who makes all things new. What a reunion, one big happy family. Will you be there too? My Lord and I, my Lord and I, one day we'll see each other face to face, my Lord and I. My Lord and I, my Lord and I, one day we'll see each other face to face, my